be seen by as many people as possible. Okay, you can do advertising or any other form, right? Make sure you have a good qualification process that is going to actually qualify leads and only let you talk to those that are qualified, and make it easy for them to book an appointment. Okay, if you do all these three things and you follow these points of advice that I mentioned, you will absolutely pack your calendar. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do to completely book out your calendar with qualified estimates in 2024. You can look back at last year, you can see what happened, why didn't you book enough estimates, and it's all going to come down to you didn't do the right actions. Okay, and in this video, you're going to learn the actions you need to do every day to ensure that every week you have multiple estimates to go to so that you can actually close jobs and add them on your schedule. So let's dive into it. Now, as you can see, this is my whole system. This is what I worked a while to build for my clients, and it's done, right? It's getting really good results. We're doing really well for our clients, and I thought I would break it down for you. Now, the first step to booking out your calendar has to do with how many people actually know that your business exists. Because if nobody knows you exist, then nobody is going to become a lead and nobody is going to book an estimate. So to fix that problem for our clients, we run ads. Okay, we blast ads all over their service areas and ensure that as many people as possible know that they are there, know the amazing offers they have, and book that estimate. So it all starts with understanding who we want to target. Okay, I'm very big in getting qualified estimates. I don't care for getting leads or contact information. I think it's a waste of time. Because sure, you can get a name, email, phone number, but then if you call them or text them, they don't respond, they never book an estimate, then they're not really worth anything. So I spend a good amount of time really understanding who my clients want to work with, what type of projects they want, and using that information to build the rest of the system. So once we really understand who we're trying to work with, and that's something you need to do, and if you want to figure that out, I cover this in depth in my lead qualification playbook. It's a video. I'll have it right up in the screen, and if you want, you can check that out later. But once we really understand who we want to target, we're going to use that information to build ads that convert for those people. As you can see, we have different ads here. I won't zoom into them because I don't want to share exactly who my clients are, because I don't think that's really fair to them. And then there's a lot of people that may try to fill out our ads in our forms just to see what happens afterwards. So I'm not going to do that. But essentially, we use this information to fill out, essentially, or not fill out, but to create the right ads for the people that our clients want to attract. Now, from the ad, the goal is to get the click, right? To really show ourselves as the right company these people want to work with and get the click. So we do this multiple ways, and there are three main factors that really create outperforming ads, okay? And the way we do that is through these three things. Okay, so the first one is creatives that stand out. So you have to understand, when someone is scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, they are just scrolling. They're not really thinking. They're just kind of looking for what's there. So you need to interrupt that pattern. You need to stop them on their tracks because they see something that's beautiful or interesting or weird even, okay? So you want to use creative that actually stand out. Now, what I've seen, just to give you like a cool tip, ads that work really well usually have a lot of sun, so the light is very strong. It's very green, like if you use turf and things like that. You know, if there's green, so colors that stand out as well. And essentially, it's a blue sky. There's different colors like plants. Those photos usually really do extremely well. So if you have some like that, then definitely use them and test them out. Number two is going to be an offer that's appealing. Okay, now an offer that is very simple that we've seen work very well is a free estimate. You know, it's very straightforward. And if someone wants a free estimate, they'll claim it on the ad. But you can also get creative, right? You can offer a percentage off, or you can offer something for free that aligns with the project that you build. So if you build pools, you can offer a free pool chair, right? Because people may want to claim it. And lastly, it's text that is intriguing and convincing. So you need to understand the way people interact with ads, okay? And the way this happens is, the first thing you're going to do is they're going to look at the photo because that's what stopped them, okay? If they decide that the photo is something they want, right, they're going to look at what it's all about. They're going to see your offer, right, which is the headline. And if the offer is appealing, if they care for the offer, then they're either going to click on the link and go to the next step, or if they're not fully convinced, they're going to read the copy, okay? That's why you want the copy to be intriguing and convincing. So you want to add reviews, you want to explain what you do, what sort of projects you complete. And that way, if someone is interested in a free estimate, but is not sure if they want to apply to work with you, then the copy is how you get them back to click the link, okay? Now, once they click on the ad, so the ad has done its job, we send them over to a landing page. So a lot of people like to run messenger ads or lead forms and things like that. And yes, that will get you a lot of volume, a lot of leads. But I have found that those types of campaigns usually get you really bad quality, okay? And the reason for that is that there is no barriers, right, for the lead capture. What I mean is that, for example, if you click on an ad, and all they're asking for to claim whatever offer they have is your name, email, and phone number, then it is extremely easy for you to fill that out. Okay, and most of the time, if you're on your phone or computer, that information is going to get pre-filled out, which means you had to put no effort into becoming a lead. That means that you're probably not as serious as someone who's willing to spend 5 or even 10 minutes filling out a detailed form about what they're looking to get done. And when it comes to a landscape project or hardscape project or remodeling, then you need to know what you want, and you probably want to have thought it through before you even want an estimate. Okay, so that's what we do here. We have a survey and we customize it for every client depending on their needs to ensure that they get the leads that they want. Now, every lead that comes in here, right, we get save it, we add it to a CRM, we have a dashboard to keep track of what's happening. As you can see, this client has quoted almost $500,000. He's closed almost 200K so far, right, out of 200 leads. And that's in under like 4 or 5 months, probably under 5 months, right? Just to give you an idea there, okay? So that's the second step to really booking at your calendar, really qualifying leads properly. And to do that, you want to, number one, know who you want to work with. So as I mentioned here, this is the first thing we do before we even touch ads. Number two is add barriers to the process. So we have our survey, right? And I definitely recommend you do that. I assure you, you will get a lot better leads. And number three, you want to call every single lead, okay? The reason for this is because when someone, let's say they even book an estimate, right? You still want to call them, because if you go ahead and you call a lead and you ask them questions about what they want to get done, the timeline, their budget, measurements, you can really gauge if it's worth it for you to spend even more time dealing with them. And that's going to lead to you giving quotes to more qualified leads, okay? Because at the end of the day, you want to only give quotes to people that are very qualified so that your close rate increases, okay? Now, once they fill out the form, two things can happen. Number one, they don't book the appointment right away. They get distracted, something happens. And what we'll do is we'll actually follow up with them through email, through text, through Messenger, if they came in through Facebook. And that essentially helps us get them back on the calendar page, which is what happens once they fill out the survey, okay? So there's the secret step we use to really book a ton of prospects on the calendar, okay? Just to give you an example right here, this client booked 20 estimates in 10 days, right? So very clearly, the system worked extremely, extremely, extremely well. Now, a very important part of the process is not just to get your estimates, but to actually help you close those leads, right? Once you give an estimate. Because sure, if we can get you estimates, but they're not qualified leads and they never close, then you're wasting your money, and we don't want them to happen. So once an estimate is booked, we start nurturing leads. So we go into our nurturing process with the goal of getting leads to trust you before they even show up, or before you even show up to their home. So we do nurturing emails, right? So we send them emails about past projects you've completed. We send them emails about the values of the company. And we also send them reviews so they can actively see the reviews you've done before you even show up. So that by the time you go out to provide an estimate, then the lead already trusts you, they know you guys do quality work, and then it's going to come down as to how you handle the sale. And I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to what we've done here. So when it comes to booking estimates, so we want to make it easy to book an appointment once qualified. So as you can see, the process here to become a lead, it's hard. There's a lot of barriers involved. There's friction. It's not super easy to get into questions. You have to spend time. You have to be willing to spend time to do it. Okay. But once they do go through the survey and they show that they're really interested, then it's extremely easy to take the next step, which is to book that estimate, right? So we make it easy to book the appointment. Now, the second thing is to let appointments be at most 10 days out. The reason for that is because time kills deals. Okay. So if, for example, a lead comes in and they book an estimate for a month out or 6 weeks out, by the time you go out to that appointment, maybe the lead already forgot about you, or they got somebody else that didn't let them book so far out, right? So you need to make sure that you're not letting leads book way out into the future, because that will hurt your close rate, okay? Now, like I said, we make sure leads are nurtured before you go out. That way they trust you, they know the work you've done, and it's all about you handling them properly to get the sale. And look at the results we've generated clients using this. So this client in May, he closed 16 jobs, right? This client here in 59 days, he made $50,000. This client in 1 week, he made $18,000. This client made $75,000 in a month. This client got 10 leads in about a week, or in 2 days, sorry. Let's see, this client closed an $8,000, a $9,000 project, and then an $8,000 project in the same day. This guy closed, let's see, $20,000 in 6 days. So, and this guy closed a $9,000 project and then an $8,000 project in the same day. Let's see, this guy closed $20,000 in 6 days, right? So there's more, and I'll walk you through every one of them. But that's just to show you more or less the system and the results you can generate. But on top of that, we also have profit maximizing campaigns. And what this does is whenever you complete a project, we will automatically send that lead or that customer a referral request. So we'll tell them, hey, it was great working with you. I was wondering if you know anybody else that needs some project completed, okay? And that way you don't need to worry about asking for it. Rather, we take care of it for you. And we also have reactivation campaigns. So what this does, whenever a lead doesn't book that estimate, right? So like I mentioned, they go into our database. What we'll do is we will actually market to them through email and through text later on in the future. So let's say every quarter or so, to ensure that we're never wasting leads. Because the thing is, leads can develop over time. Maybe when they first claimed the free estimate, they weren't ready, but then 3 months later, they're ready to go. And because you send them that text or that email, they signed on with you because nobody else followed up with them so far into the future, right? And as you can see here as well, this client made $100,000 in 31 days, and he invested like $1,200 into this, right? This client, 9K, and was waiting on a $25,000 job. I believe that was closed. This guy made $60,000 and $50,000 in 60 days. And this guy made $97,000 in 31 days, right? So again, there's a lot more. Let's see here, 10 estimates booked in a week, right? So imagine if you had 10 estimates booked in a week and you do that every single week. How much do you think you could close, right? And the last step is actually closing. So how do you actually close a lot of leads, right? So let's talk about these 3 points. So the first one is diagnose, don't sell, okay? So what I mean here is a lot of people, when they're trying to sell, they go to sell, right? They go to say, yes, you need to do this, and it's going to cost this much money. They don't care for the customer as much. Instead, what you want to do is to diagnose. Why do they want it, right? You need to think, okay, like if they want to do this thing, but it's because of this reason, then maybe it doesn't make sense to do this thing. And I should offer something different because that's going to be best for the customer. So diagnose the customer's needs, and based off of that, give them the solution that they actually need, okay? The second thing is speed to quote. Look, if you're taking a whole week to send over a quote, that's not good. You're going to be losing a lot of potential jobs that way. So do your best to get the quote out to customers within 48 to 72 hours. And lastly, you need to be there to handle objections. So whenever someone sees the price, automatically objections are going to come up because people are usually resistant to spending large sums of money, okay? So if you just send out a quote through an email and just text them, hey, I just sent you the quote, let me know if you have any questions, versus you saying, hey, I have the quote ready, when can we meet so I can give it to you? And it can be even through Zoom, right? Where you just have a Zoom call, you break down the quote for them, you let them ask questions and handle the objections that they have, and then you close them on the spot, right? Too many people just send out quotes and just waiting for them to get back to you. Be there to handle the objections and make sure they're taken care of, because I assure you, nobody else does that. And it's going to position you in a very different and a much better way in the customer's eyes. Okay, so that's pretty much how you can pack your calendar. Just to recap, be seen by as many people as possible. Okay, you can do advertising or any other form, right? Make sure you have a good qualification process that is going to actually qualify leads and only let you talk to those that are qualified. And make it easy for them to book an appointment, okay? If you do all these 3 things and you follow these points of advice that I mentioned, you will absolutely pack your calendar. Okay, as you can see, this guy booked 10 estimates in like just a couple of days, right? This guy made $100,000 in 30 days. This one too, right? This guy made, $50,000 in 50 days, right? So the possibility is there. You just have to actually execute on it. And look, if this seems like too much to you, we help people do this. We implement this whole thing for you. So if you're in a position where you just don't have the time to figure all this out, then there's a link below that's going to explain more or less our process for working with people. And if it sounds like something you may want to explore, you can book a demo with me personally. I'll break down the whole process, answer any questions just to make sure it's the right fit for you. And then if you're good to go, I'll run the system for you and ensure that you actually get scheduled jobs. Okay? So that's it for this video. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe so you know whenever I share the next one. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.